Hi everyone, this video I want to share with you my first impressions of the game Crucible by Amazon Games. One of my main issues was actually the balance between the PvE and the PvE. When I played the game, I found that I feel like I prefer going into PvP encounters than just focusing on leveling my characters. And the game some of the other gamers except alpha hunters can be relatively very fast, and people are actually focusing on getting, for example, points. And you feel if you're spending a lot of time on eliminating monsters, you're actually just giving up on some different points which your enemy can easily take. Now another thing is that it's very important to work together here. I actually find myself, because of the spawn, and the spawn is quite punishing because it can put you far away from your teammates, and this means you can actually spawn on your teammates. And this means it will take you even 1 minute to get to them, and by the time you get there, maybe they're in a fight, they already probably died, and then they're going to spawn again. The same thing happens, another teammate spawn far away, so you actually find yourself not playing with your teammates. If you play with random people, but again, if you play with communicate with a teammate, it might be different. But when you play with random people, you see that it's just very chaotic, and sometimes you just find yourself not playing with your teammates at all. Now regarding the visual element, I just didn't like the rendering. Something about the lighting and the details there, and I put it in the highest quality, and just, I don't know, something was missing there. It just feels like a game like 10 years old for me, and I've seen games that just look better, although the game has lots of details and the map design is actually nice, but overall, just for me, it feels lacking. Now regarding performance, the performance is not good for me. I don't know what's the reason. I'm running the 1660 NVIDIA Ti GTX card, and I try even both on high settings and low settings. It just runs, I don't know, the frame rate is not that good. I didn't benchmark it, but I feel that it's just kind of choppy and slow, especially when I move my character fast. And I notice a lot of times some really significant frame drops, especially when I engage into battles. So I really think this is something that can be improved. Again, I don't know if it's just for me, but yeah, usually I don't encounter any issues in games. So I just feel that this is something that regarding optimization, but I'm not 100% sure. But overall, even if I play every second that I play the game, I feel that it's kind of sluggish in a way. Now regarding the UI, the UI is relatively clean and I like it. Since even in the tutorial, I look at the UI and I say, wow, this looks actually nice. But the thing is, there's some things that bother me, like, for example, you can't rotate your character for example, when you look at skins. Maybe there is a way, I didn't find a way, and if I didn't find a way, it's even worse. I mean, if you design something, make it accessible. For example, in Overwatch is very simple. You can easily just tap and just drag, and you can rotate the character. I mean, this is something that every one of us will try to do when you point the mouse and try to rotate the character. But I didn't find a way to do this. Why? And there's more space designed for the platform and the surrounding than actually on the character itself. I thought, okay, maybe I can just zoom in. I didn't find any way to zoom in. These little things, I don't understand how we cannot do them. Now, the loading screens in this game are boring. It's just the Crucible logo, and for some reason it feels like it takes a long time to load the match. I don't know why. It just felt a bit longer compared to other games that I play. That's something that bothered me, but it's not a big issue. Another thing regarding character selection, I'm sure not 100% might be a big issue, but again, it depends that you play more. So the thing is that, for example, in Overwatch, we have this character selection screen where you get to select, you see what the other teammates are actually choosing, and choose something kind of complementary, or something depends on the meta. But in this game, you can choose a character in a character selection screen when the game starts. I mean, you can see what your teammates are actually choosing. When you choose a character, you choose this in the home screen, and this is the character that you're going to play with, and you can change it during the game. So when you get into the game, you don't even know what your teammates actually picked. And for team-based gameplay, it seems like something that is missing here, right? Because you need to have a screen where you see what your teammates are picking. Maybe, change picks, talk to your teammates and see what kind of composition of character is going to pick. So again, I'm not sure why this is done like that, but for team-based gameplay, it shouldn't be like that. Now, another thing that I find myself, quite frustrated with is playing with some more supportive characters. Like this one, you just put turrets, and I think this is very squishy and weak. It's very can easily eliminate him, especially if you don't have a teammate to help you out. And for some reason, I kind of realized why Blizzard actually developed Overwatch in the way they did, when they just wanted to force, not just encourage, just force a team-based gameplay. So that's why you have this cart just moving on the road, and everything is surrounding it. So this is actually the opposite. You have really big maps, and the map is very big, and this is another issue that I have. It's a really big map, which you can place the spawning, and can spawn like really far away from you. And eventually you find yourself, the game itself, although it's supposed to be a team-based gameplay, doesn't feel like that. In Overwatch, for example, you have to play as a team, and this actually forces people to communicate. You need to communicate if you really want to get good and rank up. I mean, although there's no rank mode here, maybe there will be, I don't know, but still you want to win games, right? And it just feels like disconnected. So you play with other people, but you don't feel you actually are playing with them. Now, regarding combat, the combat itself really is not exciting. I just finish games and I ask myself, did I enjoy the combat? No. It's just really quick engagement. Most of the time you just find yourself, with random people that actually don't play with you. And this is important in this type of games. And random encounters that you can either win or just can be wiped out because you're just against two people, and really it's very hard to evade attacks. Although some characters have really unique abilities, it's very easy to get them if they're running and just finish them. So eventually I found myself just more running in the environment than actually fighting, and then when I engage in fight, it wasn't that interesting and exciting. It just feels that, when you have this type of heroes with their abilities, just doesn't feel right for this huge map and the way it's actually designed. I don't know, it just feels kind of disconnected. Now, many of the abilities themselves, they're kind of focused on relatively, I don't know, like kind of a short distance. Like, if there's such a huge map, you should make something more prominent. I mean, this is a very big map, so something like, I don't know, something like a barrage of missiles from the sky, like in big area, something that will really feel great when you play such a big map. It's just tiny things, like a little turret or a little circle of smoke for healing. It just feels that I want to do more of this. It can be really impressive, this environment, but I didn't get this impression at all. Now, of course, not everything is bad in this game, and I keep playing and discovering new things. First of all, I like the different game modes. There are different game modes to choose, although one of them I actually like the most. The one is more like Battle Royale. And there are different cute characters which I really enjoy playing. And there are 10 of them. Each one is unique in its own way, which is nice. Actually, some of them I really enjoy playing. Others felt like they need kind of a balance better. For example, this one should be able to fly more high because it's kind of squishy and has a really kind of weird shooting. So I think it just needs more, just a little buff, So yeah, the character design is cool. I really like the way each one plays. Although, as I said, it kind of feels odd to play it in such a big map, but the gameplay itself, playing with characters, felt nice. Now, speaking of characters, I look at the skins. They just, in my opinion, most of them just look bad. But of course, this is something that, this is just the skins for the release, and I'm sure there are going to be many more. But I didn't like either. Maybe, I don't know, maybe because of the such complex design of the characters. Maybe this is the reason. Maybe they're just too complex. For example, if you look at Overwatch, a D.Va, a Reinhardt, the design of of the skins, they really give it a distinct look, and without too many design elements, so they look really nice. Sometimes they go under like something that looks like a uniform, which looks really cool. But here, it just looks kind of the same and not that interesting. Although some characters actually look better than others in that aspect. By the way, the one that look better, they actually want to have simple design, not complex one. Now, about leveling a character, this is something that I really like. Again, I feel this is just not balanced well, the PvE and PvP. But that being said, the leveling is something really cool. But when you level up, you actually find yourself getting more abilities, and some of the abilities are being upgraded, this is cool because it reminds me of mobile games. However, mobile games are games that you can play even for an hour. Depends on the game, of course. But this game, it doesn't matter which game mode I play, just felt that it's just ending so fast that you don't feel like spending time on grinding and getting your level higher. Now, the problem with that is, of course, the map design, where in mobile games, for example, you have those 3 lanes, and the enemy just can't like flank you for any direction. You can find yourself just somebody shooting behind. You actually have those big turrets that sit on the lanes that prevent further progression. So these types of things in mobile, this is what makes the game so special. Because you have the lanes, because you have the turrets, it's kind of dictate how you should play. Where in this game, it just feels very chaotic. Although I like some of the elements that you get from mobile games where you upgrade your character, this is nice. But again, you just feel disconnected from the design of the map itself. You can clearly see that the developer of this game, Amazon Games, wanted to get the best of many other games. For example, a Battle Royale game, which is a mode that's quite similar. Apex Legends kind of design map. Overwatch, which is a hero shooter, so different heroes with unique abilities. Bring good things for mobile games, like the character upgrade and unique abilities and stuff you can upgrade during the game. There's another mode which kind of resembles the Capture the Flag mode, which is a very popular mode in first-person shooters in general. But when you combine everything together, it just doesn't add up to a great gameplay experience. And again, I'm not telling you that I didn't have fun. I had fun in playing the game in general, but something gets me just frustrated many times, and just choosing a certain game mode and not enjoying the other two, and just feeling that even then I have many times where I actually feel very frustrated about the gameplay and feel that it's so chaotic. Then even with the game mode that I actually enjoy playing, it still doesn't really feel complete. So again, whether I recommend playing it, I recommend trying this game, of course. It's a free-to-play game. Go on Steam, download it, and try this game out. I do hope that some things will be balanced, especially when it comes to different heroes. And maybe they will make some changes and maybe introduce different game modes, because I think that right now it just feels kind of off. And I really wanted to enjoy this game, and I'm going to continue playing this, don't get me wrong. And there are some things, of course, that I have discovered. And as you play games, things get clearer in a way. So of course, what I'm saying right now is after 2 hours of gameplay. So it will take time, but even then, the things that I mentioned here still bother me. Maybe some things will be less disturbing after some time, but still I can see that there is a problem with this game in the several game modes that there are right now, and I just hope something like this will be solved. I don't know how they're going to do this. The problem is really, I think, with the map design in a way. But again, you can use the map design like this, but you need again to balance the PvE and the PvE elements in a way that it can actually match the design of the environment. I don't know what to tell you. Right now, I have a mixed feeling about this game, and that's how it is. I continue playing? Yes. Can you have fun with this game? Yes. Try it out. I definitely recommend trying this game out. And I'm going to share more after I'm going to play a week, and we see if my opinion improves in some areas that I talked about. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, this game is free, available on Steam, so try it out. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye everyone. Cheers.